Hello fellow stargazers, welcome back to Kenya Space Talk where we turn stardust into stories. Sasa today I want us to talk about the long debated stories ya flat earth na the firmament, where in this earth we still have people who believe that earth inakuanga flat na kuna watu bado wana believe that flat earth is covered by a domed disc wanaitanga firmament. So let us start with the flat earth theory. For the flat earth theory, people think that the earth is a flat disc inakaa chapo and the center of the chapati ni the North Pole and the Antarctica ice wall ndo the edge of the flat disc, and we still have people who still say that beyond the ice wall we have other lands, but those are mythical lands. We even have them in Game of Thrones. Even in ancient Egypt and Babylon, they still believe that the earth was flat, surrounded by waters around. Now, the icy wall, maybe to them they thought it is water beyond that point. And even in our favorite book, the Bible, Isaiah chapter 40 verse 22, it says that God sits above the circle of the earth. And Revelation chapter 7 verse 1 talks about the four corners of the earth. But by about 500 BC, people like Pythagoras had already started working on a theory of the earth is spherical. And later, people like Aristotle observed the curvature of the earth by observing ships disappearing. And remember, we also have people who argue that kwa nini ndege zisipande tu juu isimame hapo dunia izunguke, alafu ndege ikifika mahali ilikuwa nini ishuke chini, unaona? And again, I would like to ask those people, according to them, how do Earth's magnetic field work? Remember, Earth's magnetic field protects us from this harmful sun's radiation. Sasa in the flat disk, how do the magnetic field operate from the North Pole, which is at the center of the disk, to where? Does it go beyond the icy walls, beyond or where does it go? Remember, in space we don't have north, up, down, south. No, in space you cannot point this is up, this is down. Now, how does the flat disk know that this is the way up, this is upright, and this is down? And how does gravity works in a flat disk? Si kila kitu ingekuwa imevurutwa huko kwa mwisho ya disk, now kwa the icy wall. Scientifically, we know that the earth is spherical, and we have evidences like photos from space, from satellites, and again sunrise and sunset, and again we have the shadow the earth casts on the moon. Juu if earth ingekuanga flat, ungekuwa unaona shadow yenye inakastiwa kwa moon ni straight. The other thing is the firmament. Remember, in the Bible, during the creation, God created the firmament which separated the waters above and the waters below. Funny enough, in ancient world, before we came to know about how the rain is formed due to condensation, people used to think that in the firmament there are holes which used to leak and the rain used to fall down. So is the firmament real? And remember, we also have some accidents that normally takes place when we are launching rockets, which can happen due to mechanical error or engineering error, and the rocket explode. There are people who normally say that the rocket has hit the firmament. No, that was just a simple rocket launch failure, and just so you know, the majority launches are successful. So the idea of the firmament came with what people used to see. You see, when you look up, you see like it's like a dome above you, and that's what people used to write. Remember, the Bible was written to specific people at specific time. Now imagine if you could go to those shepherds, sijui kina Abraham, kina Jacob, and then you start telling them about theory of relativity, quantum physics. You tell them about space, about those people could wangekuangalia washangaa wewe ni mwenda wazimu. So you see, the Bible had to be written to a language which people at those time could understand. So when you say the firmament, it's what they used to see above them. And in our modern science, we can say the firmament is the atmosphere. Remember, atmosphere on a different layers: stratosphere, troposphere, mesosphere, and each layer has its own specific characteristic. When unapata the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. Wengine unapata the higher you go, the hotter it becomes. And remember, the atmosphere extends almost 100 kilometers above the ground. That's where the space starts. Finally, I want us to take a journey to the south, to a land that has endless conspiracy, the Antarctica. This is a land that is mostly known to have penguins, and people say that beyond the icy wall, we have lands beyond, and that's why the governments banned people from exploiting the Antarctica resources. And some believe that the icy wall is holding ocean behind. What you have to know is that we have tourists that normally go, and some even go to see the penguins, and we also have scientists who normally go and do science research there, and even journalists normally go there every day to make news. Now, in 1959, we had an Antarctic treaty signed, which was meant to protect the continent. More than 70 countries have come up to sign the treaty that is a no man's land, and no cities are supposed to be built there. No any establishment, even residential, that is supposed to be built there. People do go there. You can also go there. It is not banned. And once you go there, you find that there is no lands beyond that, and there is no ocean beyond that. What's on you guys? Tell me what's your view. Are we living in a flat disk floating in the air, or do we live in a spherical earth rotating around the sun and moving around the galaxy? See you next time, guys. Thank you.